Hello everybody, welcome back to my YouTube channel NSR Info Technologies. In today's session, we will be discussing how to understand the main difference between select and collect. Okay, so what is select, what is collect, when to use what is the difference between these two, we will be seeing in today's session. Alright, so coming to the first one, so if you have some data, like if you have some data which is in CSV format or in whatever format, you can directly load that data, or else you can also, since this is just for a POC purpose, right, I have created a data frame. Okay, so what is the data on which I have created a data frame? This is the data which I'm using. This is nothing but some employee related information. Okay, this is the employee related data, and on that employee related data I have few columns. So these are the columns for each, and these are the different records. So how many records I have? 1 2 3 4 5 records I have, and I have 1 2 3 4 5 6 columns I have. Okay, so using this data and these columns, what do I want to do? I want to create a data frame. So that is the first step. Okay, you can either load the data from a specific file, you can read that data like spark.read.data, spark.read.format of CSV. So using that you can assign it to a data frame, or else if you have some data, right, simple data, you can just take that simple data and you can actually create a data frame using this data and these columns. Okay, this is how you will be doing it. Alright, so after that, so let us come to our today's topic, which is select. So select is one of the transformation. Okay, select is one of the transformation. So using this, what all we can achieve, like if you have multiple columns. Okay, suppose in a particular data frame you are having some 20 columns, 30 columns, few number of columns you have. So instead of using all those columns, okay, instead of selecting all those columns, what we can do, we can only select those columns, like single columns, like whatever columns you want to select, right, those particular columns you can choose it using this select transformation. Okay, so if you want to select a single column, you can select it. If you want to retrieve all the columns, you can retrieve those particular all the columns. If you want to retrieve, also you can retrieve it. Or else out of 20, if you want to only retrieve 10 columns, that also you can do. Okay, so directly by giving the names you can retrieve the columns, or else by giving the indexes also you can retrieve the columns. Just by specifying the column numbers and indexing also you can retrieve the columns from the specified list. Okay, so this is what you can achieve using this select transformation. So this is one of the PySpark related function. So here, right, it is used to basically return new data frames with the number of columns, whatever columns you specify, those specific columns with the selected columns. Okay, so now let us see the first use case. So let me uncomment this one and comment the last one. Let us execute this one first. Okay, so here what am I doing? I'm trying to sell. Okay, so first I need to execute, right, sorry. So let us execute the first command. That is fine. Now the second command. So this will give you what? It will give you the data frame. That means you're having some data, you're having few columns. So inside those particular columns, data is getting organized. That is nothing but your data frame, which you're already aware of. Alright, so let me take a screenshot of it. Now using this method, this is one of the transformation which we are using. So here, right, what are you trying to do? Here you have how many columns? 6 columns you have. So out of those 6 columns, you are only trying to retrieve 2 columns. What are those 2 columns? Your wish, like I want to select first name and then last name. So these 2 are the columns which I want to select. So what I do, this is the syntax for it, df dot select of those specific columns. Execute it. So if you see here, since you're not trying to display, if you give dot show, right, it will be displayed in a particular tabular format. Okay, since you're not giving display or dot show, that is why you are only able to get what all columns are there, right? So those particular columns you will be getting. Alright, so now let's comment first one and let's execute the second one. So remember, these 3 will give you the same result. It's just that the syntax is different. Okay, just try to observe the syntax difference between these 3. Okay, there is some indentation error, so let me just give a backspace and execute. All right, so this also will give you the same thing. It's just that, you know, there is a little difference with this one and this one. Here directly that particular column name you are specifying, here data frame dot column name you are specifying. That is the difference between these two. Now let me comment this and uncomment the last one, execute it. It also will yield in the same result. Okay, so here data frame of those columns we are specifying. Okay, just try to observe the difference between these three syntaxes. All right, now let us see some other methods. So till now we have seen directly with the column name, data frame dot column name and data frame of column name we have seen. Now we will see how to use with a call function. Remember, this call is a function which is available in our PySpark SQL. So if you want to use that function, you will have to import it. Suppose if you don't import it, if you just comment this one, right, what will happen? This will throw you an error. It will show that name call is not defined. Why is it not defined? It is telling because it is one of the PySpark SQL function, PySpark function which is present, which we are supposed to import it. Okay, so here how you can specify using the call keyword, whatever column names you want to explicitly pass, those things you can specify. Okay, so the moment you display this one dot show, the moment you execute this one, only these two columns will be displayed. Okay, so only these two, first name and last name, will be the columns which will be displayed. All right, so now using another so till now we have seen if you have to explicitly specify the entire column name, how to retrieve those records you have seen. Now we shall see based on some regular expression pattern. Okay, based on some regular expression pattern, if you want to if you want to retrieve any specific columns, how you can retrieve it. If you want to retrieve any specific records, how to retrieve it from those columns, I will tell you now. So let us go to the next one, which is using regular expressions. So if you see here, I have first name, middle name, last name. So in this particular data frame, I'm having three columns which are ending with name keyword as name. Okay, so I will write a regular expression in such a way that I only want to fetch those columns which are ending with name. Okay, so how do you write a regular expression for that? How do you select only these three columns which are matching with that? We will see now. Yeah, so if you see here, right, select columns by regular expression. So this is one of the regular expression. So what is the regular expression transformation we have? We have this one, call regular expression. So call is nothing but column, and you are trying to give a regular expression, regex, that is nothing but a regular expression. So here what you are trying to do, I want to fetch those particular columns which are containing name. Okay, which is ending with name. Ending with name, how you can specify it? Dot and that particular keyword. Okay, dot that particular keyword. So here, right, a dot after dot you are specifying star name star. That means it could be this particular regular expression pattern will match with first name, middle name, last name. Okay, so how you are giving it? You are enclosing it within double quote, obviously, because it is a string, and then you are giving this quote symbol, and then inside that you are giving a cap symbol. This is there, right? This is nothing but cap symbol, and after that cap symbol, whatever pattern you want to write, you can represent it. So here I want to fetch only those particular columns which are containing name keyword inside it. So if you see here, as per this regular expression which I have written, three columns are matching. So the three columns are matching with the name keyword. That means dot star name star. That means if you see here, name, it is ending with name. Okay, this pattern will represent those particular columns which are actually ending with name keyword. Okay, so the moment you execute it, how many columns you will be getting? You will be getting only three columns. Okay. Alright, first name, middle name, last name. These three are the columns which are matching our regular expression pattern. Okay. Alright. And So if you want to select all the columns from the list, okay, without having to specify its name, how do you do that? We have multiple syntaxes for that. Let me execute one after the other. Okay, so if you see here, I have columns, star columns. If you just specify star columns, it will help us retrieve all the columns which are present inside the data frame which you are trying to refer to. Okay, so this is one syntax. Let me comment it and execute the next one. So this is using call keyword, but here you are using a for loop. Okay, for loop. Okay, so instead of specifying those particular column names, what you are doing, you are using a for loop, and then you are giving just df dot columns. So this will tell you what all columns are present inside that data frame. Those all will be retrieved. Coming to the last one, which everybody is aware of, df dot select of star. Okay, so this star will fetch you all the columns in that data frame. Now, till now you have seen multiple methods to retrieve, be it using the names or using the star you have seen. So now I will tell you how to retrieve those specific columns with respect to index or with respect to columns or in combination of both. Okay, so here let me first execute this first. Even before executing, right, let me show you one thing. Yeah, how many records we have? 5, right? Okay, so basically indexing will start from where? Indexing, remember, indexing will always start from 1. Okay, indexing. So this is the 0th index, first index, second index, third, fourth and fifth respectively. All right. Eraser, where is the eraser? Here it is. Okay, these are fourth and fifth. All right. I stands for indexing. Okay, indexing starts with 0, remember. Coming to columns. Columns means what? From where do they start? It starts from 1. Column number will obviously start from 1, right? So these are nothing but 1 2 3 4 5 6 columns we have altogether. All right, so these are what? Columns. All right, so now coming to our first thing, what is that? So if you see here, I have specified one syntax which is showing here you have 2 arguments. Okay, first argument, if you see here, right, you are having 2 arguments, first argument and second argument. So for now, let me just comment this one and let me just explain you the first one. So if you see here, the second argument is what? It will fetch you the columns. So whatever columns are there, right? So if you want to just without having to specify its name, okay, without having to specify the column name, you can retrieve the columns just by using the second argument. So what is that? You will use df dot columns and then you will be using :3. This is what? This is second argument is what? It will be retrieved based on the number. So this is nothing but column number. So if you see here, how many columns will be retrieved? 1 2 3. So if you execute this first syntax, right, first name, middle name, last name will be the columns which will be retrieved. Okay, let me execute it and display. See here, as I've told you, basically using the number, just with the column number you can retrieve it. Okay, till 3. 3 means what? 3 is nothing but till that particular number, whatever columns are there, those entire columns will be displayed. So that is what is happening. Now let me just comment this one and then execute this one. So before executing, so here, right, first index is what? First one is what argument I have told you? It is indexing. Second one is column. So if you see here, I have specified 2, okay, and then I have specified 4. If you see here, 2 I have specified and 4 columns I have specified. This will be the first argument, this will be the second argument. So the moment you execute it, what all you will be getting? You will be getting this time only 2 columns. So what will be the columns? It will be last name and ID. Okay, last name and ID will be the columns which you will be retrieving. So let us execute it and see. Last name and ID are the only 2 columns which we are able to retrieve it. Why is that? Because of the arguments which we are sending here. This is the first argument, this is the second argument, indexing and columns. Right. All right, so now let us see that what does this collect do. So till now we have seen what is this select, right? What does this select does, we have seen. So basically main difference between select and collect is what? Select is a transformation, whereas collect is an action. Okay, collect is an action. All right, so what does this collect do? So if you want to retrieve data from a specific data set or a data frame, right, be it from an RDD or else from a data frame, you can actually retrieve the data. Okay, but here the catch is like it will be retrieved in the array format. Okay, it will be retrieved in the array format, which will be returned to the driver program. So that is why whenever you are using this collect action, right, you need to be very careful, or else it will result in out of memory issues. Okay, so once again I'll repeat it. So what is the select is nothing but a transformation. So basically using this transformation, it will return a new data frame. Okay, so using this selected transformation, what all columns you have selected, those things will be returned. All right, so coming to this collect, when do you use this collect? So basically this collect is used to this is nothing but an action. So here, right, whatever it is resulting, right, suppose you have some result set, so that result set will be retrieved in the format of array. Okay, so just make sure that whatever result you are having, right, that should be smaller data set. If you are having a smaller data set, then that is fine. But if you are dealing with huge amounts of data set, like if your result or else your outcome is big data set, okay, so that is when what will happen, it will cause out of memory issues, as it returns the entire data set to the driver program. Okay, so that is why you will have to be careful when you are dealing with this collect, and when it is resulting in bigger data sets or else bigger result sets. Okay, remember that it will result in out of memory errors. Okay, so now let us see what the first command does. So df.collect, what have I told you? So basically whatever output you are getting, you will be getting it in the format of arrays. Okay, so here dataframe.collect, let us see what we are getting it. So I'm just trying to print this dataframe.collect. So in your program, you are having different number of records. So row by row, all the records are getting displayed here. This is the first record, second record, third, fourth, fifth, 5 records we have, right? So the entire data, you are collecting it in a array format. If you see here, in the array format, you are collecting the data. Okay, so and this entire thing, right, entire data, output data will be returned to your driver program. Okay, that is why if you are dealing with large data sets, since you have to return it to the driver program, it will result in out of memory issues. Okay, if it is a small data set, it is fine, you can just use it. Now I am trying to create a data frame with this particular data, so let me just execute this one. Here I have department name and department ID, these are the columns. Okay, so now here in the second syntax, what am I trying to do? I have some department data frame and I'm trying to collect this information. So the moment I collect it, what will happen? So I will be having these 4 records. Okay, this department data frame is holding what? It is holding these particular 4 records and 2 columns. Okay, that entire thing will be displayed in the format of array if we are using this collect wala action. Okay, this is an action. Remember, it is not a transformation, but it is an action. Alright, now we are explicitly selecting a particular column and you are trying to retrieve it. So the moment you execute it, what you will be getting? You will be getting only department related information, that is department name related column only will be retrieved. Okay, why is that? Because you are selecting a specific column which is department name. Let me execute it. Okay, so if you see here, which record is getting displayed? Only the selected column. Alright, department name, which is holding multiple values, like 4 values: finance, marketing, sales, IT. Alright, so now the last one is what? Like using for loop. Okay, using for loop, if you want to display both department name concatenated with department ID. Okay, department name comma department ID, if you want to have only this information, but here, right, you are using a for loop. So here this I is nothing but a row. You can just assume this I as a row. Okay, so you can just put it as I or row, not an issue. So wherever I is there, that is nothing but record. For each and every record, what are you trying to do? You are trying to print department name concatenated with comma along with the department ID. So the moment you execute it, how will be the data? The data will be in this format, like finance comma 10, marketing comma 20, like that. Okay, let me execute it. All right, so this is what you can in this is the way wherein you can use your collect action. Okay, so I just hope select versus collect is clear for you. Let me know if you have any doubts in the comment section. All right, so if you haven't already subscribed to my channel, please do subscribe. My channel name is NSR Info Technologies.